The Great Political Race. This is a game of strategy and chance. Each player represents a political party on their campaign trail. The aim of the game is to finish at the end of the board with the most voters, thus winning your campaign. There are 2 to 4 players. Each player chooses a token. Oh, okay. Each player begins with 10 voter coins, which they will collect from the general population. Each player rolls a dice. The highest number rolled will start the game. The spaces you land on throughout your campaign will determine how quickly you move around the board, with different spaces affecting each player positively or negatively. The most predominant spaces on the board are the active spaces. These spaces force players to randomly activate or deactivate voters from the general population, based on the situation described. These spaces bring into the game the importance of citizens, or in our game, voters, being active for the functioning of any political party or democracy in general. These spaces represent the more superficial events that can occur along a campaign trail that may affect the way a potential voter chooses their party. For example, a representative of your party was caught buying cocaine. The citizen cards are the most influential places on the board. This is where the players are able to strategize in their attempt to go on and win the game. The citizen cards describe an event in society that has happened during your campaign that will either benefit or disadvantage a party based on their specific political ideologies, determining where they stand on the issue and further influencing the amount of voters that can be gained or lost. This card doesn't align with the Green Party's values, which means they have the choice to either move back 3 spaces, maintaining their voters, or go against their values, staying in the same place on the board but instead losing 3 voters. In an alternate example, the situation described on this citizen card does happen to align with the values of the Red Party. This means they again have the choice to this time either move forward 3 spaces or remain on their space but gain 3 voters. The player who finishes first in the game gains an additional 10 voters. The player who finishes second will gain an additional 7. Third will gain 4 voters, and the player who comes in last will gain another 2 voters. After each player counts their voters at the end of the game, the player with the most voters has had the most successful political campaign, won the election, and inevitably won the great political race.